Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, God. Oh, what is that smell? Fucking Jesus Christ. Oh my God. What is that? Oh, fuck. That's what. Oh, get out of here. Fuck you. Get out of here. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we're talking about today. We're talking about hippie guys.
That's when I gave my cousin head, gave my cousin head, gave my cousin head, I gave my cousin head.
Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, the hippie epidemic is not slowing down, okay? There are a lot of hippie men out there, okay? These disgusting, dirty little hippies traveling around and doing drugs everywhere they go, copious amounts of drugs, driving off of these drugs, and listening to music. The worst combo.
What the hell happened here?
This nigga is dead.
But you might know them by many different terms, you know, degenerates, burnouts, wooks, they like to call themselves. Truly, these guys are the most unbearable people that you will ever meet, that you'll ever have to interact with. Unfortunately, I have had many interactions with hippie men, okay? They're not your average, just like fucking annoying, like rude guy or something like that. They're so like hopped up on their fucking stupid drugs, okay, that trying to like have a coherent conversation with them is like pulling teeth out of a toddler. Like they're constantly squirming and like looking for the next hit. And they're constantly, like, trying to get some fucking drugs or alcohol in their system. Like, they can't just sit down and be a normal person. They have to be constantly on something. It would be one thing if they're just constantly doing drugs. Like, that's annoying enough. Because, like, dealing with a drug addict is fucking annoying. But dealing with a drug addict who looks at you weird if you decline the drugs that they're doing. If you don't want to do the drugs with them, they're gonna curse you out, they're gonna hate you for it, and they're gonna pressure you to try and do drugs with them.
You know what's interesting? Everyone who is against gear, methamphetamine, hasn't actually tried it. And it's like, dude, you haven't tried it, so how would you know if it's bad or good? Because you're probably more obsessed with gear than I am, because you don't know what it's like. You're probably just wondering what it's like, just wondering, I wonder what it might be like. So just try it, dude. Try meth.
And I mean, I'm not like some anti-drug kind of guy, okay? I can understand the appeal and the fun whenever there's a place for it, okay? But I'm not like trying to live my life in a perpetual state of intoxication. And like, okay, yeah, the drugs are bad. It's annoying, whatever. Like, there's drug addicts, okay? Those guys are chill for the most part, as long as they're clean. The problem with hippies is they look like their mom literally never taught them how to shower. Okay, I understand going to a fucking music festival and you're camping out for a while, and you obviously haven't showered or anything and you smell a bit. That's one thing. But to have this like fucking rat's nest of a hair and walk around like nothing's wrong, like, dude, white people with dreads, kill yourself. You're disgusting, okay?
Dig it, my groovy humans. Remember, you need the air that you breathe just as much as you need the lungs that you breathe it with, man. So why do you see the lungs as part of you and not the air all around you? All right, peace, love, and chicken wings. I'm out.
Dreads on their own aren't terrible, but like interacting with a white person with dreads, they think that they're way cooler than they actually are. They're kind of like goth girls, go watch the video, where they think that they're the most unique person in the room, but their personality just becomes like a cookie cutter of every other white fucking cracker who has these wigga-ass dreads, dude. It's so gross. And you'll always know when you meet a hippie, right? So you'll obviously know them from the clothes, okay? They make very interesting clothing decisions. Most of them very comfortable, okay? I'll give you guys that. Putrid smell that lingers around them in every room they walk into, and you'll know them from always constantly preaching love and constantly listening to music about love, man. I just love love, man. All you need is love, man. And they turn their whole personality into pure love. But then, once you truly get to know them and you interact with them for a while, they're some of the snakiest people in the fucking world, okay? They won't just, cheat on you, cheat with your friends, destroy your entire friend group, okay? They'll just steal from you like they're disgusting. They are foul. But we're all children of the earth, man. So, don't you know that what mine is yours, brother? It's like a true socialist paradise here in this music festival. Listen, if I'm going to a place with a bunch of fucking hippies, I don't want to have to lock my tent up because some fucking retard on heroin got it in his head that, oh, I'm gonna walk into this guy's fucking tent and steal all of his clothes for the weekend. I don't want to have to deal with that. But alas, this is where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. These are the kinds of people that you're dealing with whenever you choose to interact with hippies. Truly, okay, if you ever really get to know these people, they'll end up inviting you back to their crack den where they have... their walls and their whole house covered in trash that they decide to call decorations, okay? They all look very, very similar. Copy and paste, okay? Yes, the trinkets and trash that they choose to throw up on their walls are all unique in and of themselves, but the entire aesthetic, the entire vibe, it's very cookie cutter, okay? You're not breaking any social norms here. You're not the most unique butterfly in the bunch, okay? If anything, you're just like a piece of cotton. You're white, and you look like every other whitey. You're smelly and gross, and I don't fucking like you. But yeah, I mean, apart from their crack den, littered in trash, most of the guys that you meet that are in this hippie era of their life, this hippie phase, some of them, obviously, they never grow out of it, okay? They're hippie for life, motherfucker. The hippie old heads, okay, the old-ass hippies, they're pretty cool guys. If they haven't died of overdose yet, they're pretty chill dudes, but there's not a lot of them left. But the actual, fucking, new age hippies, the fucking pieces of shit, these kinds of guys are truly pathetic, okay? They're living off of girl power, okay? They're really living off the dime of their woman. And they're pretty much always unemployed, okay, obviously. But whenever you ask them about it, they'll say, oh, no, yeah, I'm employed, I'm working, man, I'm working on my business, on my brand, okay? Whether it's a clothing brand, whether they're selling pins, okay? Whether they're actually making the pins or selling, or buying them and selling them for resale value, this is a very big thing in the hippie community. Trust me. You can look into it, but I Promise you, it's very pathetic and blackpilling, okay? Or they'll just generally be working on art and then call it a job. Even though they don't make any money from this art, and almost always it's just some of the most awful shit you've ever seen or heard, depending on what they do in their art profession. Like this guy.
Do your eyes see what I see? As I stop to look around, see all the beauty on my left and it's burning to the ground. What have we found that extracted the mound, that weaponized the speed of sound, to call orders to the soldiers on the ground, to ignore the inhumanity it had found, to strip you naked like the eyes of a clown, to demand your compliance on the reliance of your fear, to try to get you to steer clear of a truth near, as it only needed the fear of fear to keep you in a box of your own tailored lock, to keep you within. How much can you withstand? How much can you persevere through the demands of men that engineered the division through your phones and televisions? While ahead, heaven shuts its gates and sits and waits for us to realize the taste of our flavor of our own demise. Then maybe the tides can change. Maybe then the rain can pull us back to humanity and wake up and redeem our insanity.
I'm sorry, buddy, but if you don't want criticism on your art, don't post it online, because why would you post that? You were doing something great there, dude. You were doing something good. And don't get the wrong intention from me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, okay, I'm sure you might think you know what my opinion on art is, okay? But no, I do not think art is gay, okay? Honestly, there's a lot of guys out there that complain about art, call art gay, whether it's musical theater, whether it's painting, whether it's making music or whatever. But no, art is not gay. Art is one of the greatest expressions of the self, of your personality.
Oh, nigga, you gay!
And honestly, more men and more people in general just need to create art in their free time, in their hobbies, whatever, because it's a very important aspect to the human experience, is creating something. And especially as men, we can't really create something through childbirth like a woman can. That's the ultimate form of creation. But no, we are subject to just creating things with our hands that can never truly compare to the beauties and wonder that is a child. Also, you might think that I think all of their music tastes and all of their hippie jam bands are terrible. But no, honestly, the jam bands are really good, whether it's fucking like Goose or fucking My Morning Jacket, all of these different hippie bands and like rock bands like Pink Floyd, all that shit. They're really good. I love that music personally, but that's the trap, okay, guys? They'll reel you in with good sounding music and interesting shows and different music festivals and everything. But once they rope you in, they turn you into the epitome of a fucking burnout, okay? They'll pump you full of drugs, okay? You'll have these wild dreams and beautiful aspirations, but then once you start going to music festivals and become a fucking hippie, you'll have no time or motivation to pursue those dreams, and you'll just end up a subjugated little wage worker for the rest of your life, saving up your Burger King paychecks for the next music festival you get to go to. Yeah, all of these people are perpetually broke because they spend all of their money on stupid things like these little light things that you can move around.
Right foot, 2 stomp. Left foot, 2 stomp. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross. Cha-cha, real smooth.
At a music festival that cost hundreds of dollars just to move little fucking lights around. What the fuck, dude? Or like these fucking gotcha ball, these fucking balls that you move around. Like all of these little things. Or if you're just spending all of your money on drugs and alcohol constantly, you're never saving any money. But what's the point of saving money to live in a capitalist society whenever all the capitalist society wants to do is just drain you of your soul, man? Why don't you just do a bunch of drugs and drain yourself of your own soul? These people are just the worst human beings imaginable. They also spend all of their money on like these little flags that you twirl. Like, honestly, if you ever go to a music festival, especially like a hippie music festival, and you just kind of people watch, that's the most fun thing to do. There's just so many white people that just don't know how to dance, okay? They don't know how to keep a rhythm, and they're the worst moving human beings ever. And like, they're just hopped up on a lot of drugs. Alright, a lot of fucking drugs. They're moving every which way, okay? And they're doing a lot. They're doing too much.
Hanging with my cousin, reading dirty magazines. We seen two niggas kissing, we ain't know what that shit mean. Then we start reenacting everything that we had seen. That's when I gave my cousin head, gave my cousin head, gave my cousin head, I gave my cousin head.
You know, all of these people are just, overall just, you know, assholes who are disappointments to their family and their friends and will never amount to anything. So then they use all of these drugs and this stupid little like burnout aesthetic in order to cover up their trauma and their pain that they feel from being a failure. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Join the membership down below to support the channel. Okay, retard out.